Okay, this is a reaction video. This is Walter's World, British breakfast, what they eat for breakfast in the UK. Well, I'm gonna it's probably, if you've seen any of my videos in the past couple weeks, you know that I'm going to be visiting London next month. British breakfast, what they eat for breakfast in the UK. I'm kind of interested in this because I'm going to be, it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully they have what I have here, but let's find out.
Hey there, fellow hungry travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're here in cold, windy, dark Chester, England.
Hopefully it'll be a little bit warmer in London when I'm there, but we'll find out.
And thank goodness I started my day off with a good English breakfast this morning.
Now that looks like undercooked bacon. Looks like a roll. I'm going from the right and going up to the roll. Looks like a bread. Looks like tomato, which I do not like. Looks like mushrooms I do not like. Looks like beans I do not like. Egg and undercooked sausage. That does not look very inviting to me.
To get me going, and I'm going to tell you, fellow travelers, breakfast is probably one of the best meals to have when you're in the United Kingdom traveling around. Whether you're in Wales, you're in Scotland, you're in Northern Ireland, you're here in England, there's so many great breakfast things to have that you don't want to pass it up. And that's why today we're going to talk about are the best British breakfasts you should have when you're here. I guess I should say best breakfasts in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. And before we get into the full English or the full Scottish, we need to start with the most important facet of breakfast, of any breakfast throughout the United Kingdom, and that is a cuppa. You want
a cuppa, I think, is a cup of coffee, is what they're talking about, or a cup of tea.
to have a cuppa. A cup of tea. You're going to start your breakfast out with tea, okay? This is one of those things. Yes, you can get coffee, no problem when you're here in the UK, but honestly, tea is the way to go, especially at breakfast. And don't be surprised, whatever you order, they have that pot of tea coming out for you and a bunch of little slices of toast ready to go, all right? Now, let's get into the things you're going to...
I just learned that the tea bag and electric kettle was invented in the United States and not in the United Kingdom.
I want to order when you go out for breakfast when you're here. And honestly, a lot of your inns and bed and breakfasts will have these things ready for you, so you can already pre-order it, be ready to go, and don't even have to look for it at a restaurant. And the first thing I want to talk about is a full English, or an English breakfast, or full English breakfast. You'll see it at different places.
Oh, that's what I was just looking at.
A lot of places might even sell it all
Maybe that's ham, not bacon.
day long. But a full English, you're going to have your grilled tomatoes, your mushrooms, your beans. Yes, beans for breakfast are a thing. The sausages that go with it, bacon when it's there, a couple eggs, and then you're going to have black pudding, which is it's an oat-based sausage made with blood, like pork blood, but it's really
I'm sure it's fantastic. It just doesn't look very appetizing.
good. You really want to have it when you're there, and of course, on the side, you might want to have some sauce. Now, you probably want to go with the brown sauce if you really want to be, truly English. You're going to have it, but people will throw ketchup on there as well, and you'll have a little hash brown like triangle when you're there. That's like the quintessential kind of, English breakfast.
Egg, sausage, hash brown, that's fine for me. I can do with water or milk.
English breakfast. And if you go around the UK, there'll be little differences, but the base kind of stays the same with eggs, sausage, bacon kind of stuff. So if you go for like a full Scottish breakfast, they're going to throw a potato scone or a tatty scone in there for you, which is basically like really thin potato bread cooked for you, so you can have that. And they might switch out the black pudding for haggis, but most of the times when I went to Scotland, it was still black pudding. Now, if you're over in Northern Ireland, you're going to have an Ulster fry, which again has the same thing, the eggs and the sausages and the bacon and those things. But here, you have the soda bread farls, which are to die for. I mean, we were in Belfast last year, and I'm like going...
I do not know what he's talking about. I have no idea what he... Hopefully he shows a picture of this.
Back up for more. No, just give me the farls. Just give me the farls. It's just, so good.
Now, the Brits love sandwiches, and even at breakfast time, you'll see a breakfast sandwich, like maybe you have the Cumberland sausage sandwich, or like my mom has a bacon and egg sandwich. You'll see different ones out there, but yeah.
Okay, that looks somewhat appetizing. That looks like sausage on a bun, and egg and bacon is pretty good.
They love their sandwiches here. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Then if we look at Wales, well, of course, they're going to throw some lava bread in there as well, okay? So you have that kind of base, kind of like sausage, bacon, eggs,
Yeah, that's fine. Cold cut cheese slices, that's fine. We have that in the United States as well.
beans, grilled tomatoes, mushrooms. You have that base with a few little things thrown in on the side, and they'll usually have toast with it as well. Well, they will have toast with it with those beans. You gotta have beans and toast. So that's
No, you do not have beans on toast. That is horrible. Oh, that's disgusting.
kind of like a quintessential breakfast here in the UK, and the locals don't always eat it, but they like to have a nice fry up every so often, but you'll be okay with that. That's one you're going to find everywhere. I pretty much can guarantee that when you're here. Now, sometimes it's a bit much for people. I know when I travel with my mom, she can't eat that much, okay? Because that is a really big meal. Like, I will eat that at my inn or my bed and breakfast or my hotel, and then I actually sometimes won't do lunch or I'll do a really late lunch, early dinner, because it's so many calories, it's so filling, you don't need much the rest of the day. But sometimes you want something smaller. And one thing I really like, especially it's kind of from Scotland, but you'll find it around the UK, is smoked salmon and scrambled eggs. Yes, smoked salmon and scrambled eggs
That is something that I'm not big on smoked salmon. Scrambled eggs, yes. Smoked salmon, no.
are phenomenal. You never
But I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to try it. I had the opportunity to have salmon when I was in Alaska. I didn't. I had the chicken, but maybe I'll try it.
really think about it, and then you have it and you're like, oh my goodness, this actually is a wonderful combination. And if you want to kind of keep with the smoked salmon, it does show up on breakfast menus quite a bit. But one of the things I've seen recently is what's called Eggs Royal. It's kind of like an Eggs Benedict, where you have the crumpet on the bottom or the muffin on the bottom, and then they'll put smoked salmon, poached eggs, and then the hollandaise sauce on top. Oh, it's so good. And yes, you'll see Eggs Benedict as well, where you sub out the smoked salmon for some bacon or in there, so you can get that too. Those are
I've never had Eggs Benedict. I've seen Eggs Benedict before, but I never really had it.
quite popular on menus.
I've never really had Eggs Benedict. I've seen it, but I've never really had it. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, like I said, I'm willing to try anything when I'm over there in England.
Like at cafes and restaurants to do breakfast. Also at some other hotels, they might have a little bit more option that might be there. Now I know some people don't want a heavy breakfast. They don't even want eggs or salmon. They don't want anything. They want something more I want some cereal. And cereal is popular here. You can get your usual cereals you have around the world, but probably one of the cereals you really want to have when you're here is Weetabix, which is basically like
I'm not so sure about Weetabix. It looks like, maybe, it looks kind of like Wheaties. We have in the United States, we have Wheaties. It looks like it's similar to Wheaties.
think about a wheat brick, throw in some milk or some sugar with it. That's how I got through eating them. But it's actually quite a popular thing to have here for breakfast, especially if you're kind of doing a homestay or an apartment rental, so you make your own breakfast. Or another light thing which will be on offer at hotels is porridge. So it's like oatmeal basically.
Yeah, I've had oatmeal before, not porridge, but I've never really tried porridge before. But well, maybe I'll try it. We'll see.
Very popular. If you see Scottish porridge, go for it. Maybe throw a little cream on there or a little milk. Maybe throw some brown sugar on there, some fruit. You'll be fine. It's very fortifying. Especially if it's cold, it really hits the spot in the morning. Now, as my family's from Scotland, I feel kind of obligated to mention another Scottish thing, and that is Scottish pancakes. And basically, there's pancakes. But, put Scottish in front of it. It's going to be even better. It's just these fluffy pancakes. And what you want to do is you want to have it with some, like, clotted cream and fruit. That's going to be the best way to get it. But
I don't know. I not know what Cornish clotted cream is. I don't know what clotted cream. I know what cream is, but I don't know what clotted cream is.
that's quite popular. Like, I tried to have it yesterday morning for breakfast, and they didn't have it. They had maple syrup and bacon for me instead. So that's probably the picture you're seeing. But if you want
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what clotted cream is, but yeah, we'll see. Again, Scottish pancakes, like regular pancakes, just with a Scottish name in front of it. Is that what it is?
some nice fluffy pancakes, Scotch pancakes is the way you want to go. If you're more of a French toast person, like in the U.S., you have what's called eggy toast, where you mix up the egg and you put the bread in it and you put it on the pan and fry it up. You can
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't call it French toast, and over there, eggy bread makes more sense.
have that. They might have some cinnamon sugar on there, maybe some jam on top. And I really find that the jam is much more of a topping for the pancakes and eggy toast than anything like maple syrupy. Now, the next thing I want to mention is something my dad would want to make sure I tell you about, and that are kippers, okay? What kippers is, it's herring, but it's not just herring. It is smoked and salted like herring, like cut up into smaller bites, so it's kind of easier to get down. Usually have it with some bread and butter when you're there.
Like fish? Is that what it is? Like fish for breakfast?
It's kind of a nice, quick, easy kind of thing that your dad or my dad would like to eat when he comes here, because sadly he does. And I'm like, okay, it's all you, Dad, but it's something you really should know about. If you haven't, go ahead and try it. And you know, when we talk about breakfast in America and we think of England, we think of English muffins. Well, we don't.
Yeah, because I got Thomas's English muffins. That's what it's what we think of. Maybe you guys have English muffins, but maybe you don't. I guess that's what he's telling us here.
English muffins, you'll see something that looks like an English muffin here. It's called a crumpet. English
Okay, that's not an English muffin. That looks like an English muffin, but it's not an English muffin.
muffins and crumpets are not the same thing. Okay? The crumpet thing is actually something you might eat later in the day for tea kind of stuff, like in the afternoon
Yeah, I
tea.
heard that tea and crumpets.
Kind of things, but you might see it for breakfast as well. And if you have that eggs royale, or the eggs benedict, that will be the muffin underneath it. It's a crumpet, and those things are actually really good. And if you're doing a homestay or an apartment stay, grab them at the grocery store. You throw them in the toaster. Throw some nice butter on there, or some
A scone. Yeah, we have scones in the United States. I'm not a big fan of them, but we have them.
jam. The jam is what's really good here. Oh my God, you can't go wrong with that. But the thing is, there's lots of different
Pastries.
really good breakfasts to have here in England. So please, if you're watching this video and you got some good British breakfasts and UK breakfasts, put it down in the comments below so people can know other great things to eat in the mornings before they go out and enjoy, well, maybe not the beautiful weather, but the beautiful cities and the wonderful people here around England, all right?
Okay, this is Walter's World.
So I'll say bye from...
Yeah, this is Walter's World. Please click like, share, and subscribe for him as well as from me. I'm not so sure about the breakfast here that we're going to talk about, because there's a lot like the beans on toast. That's disgusting. I don't know that I'm going to have that, but I certainly don't want to have beans for breakfast. That is something that I do not wish to partake in, but again, we'll find out. Please click like, share, and subscribe for Walter's World as well as for me. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.